Hey, what's up, men's room? It is week 38. I know I missed on week 37. I didn't have much time last weekend to make a video, so I'm just gonna combine them real quick. Week 37, the topic really was what do we think about the word normal, and how does that relate to or not relate to our experience with being trans, and do we find that as being normal? I think the word normal is the most misused word out there. Well, obviously, that's a hyperbole to just say the most misused word out there, but definitely extremely, extremely misused. Normal, for me, at least, doesn't seem to have an actual set of standards that anyone can automatically say that's normal, that's not normal, because it is such a subjective word. What is normal within a particular context is extremely abnormal in another context. It is perfectly normal for me to wear glasses if I want to see what's in front of me beyond a couple of feet in a clear way. It's not normal for me to wear it over my contact lenses if I'm wearing my contact lenses too. I mean, anything can be normal or abnormal depending on how you look at it. The society that you live in, the time that you live in, the person that you are changes and defines what is or isn't normal. So it is extremely, extremely subjective, and context matters so much. So the term normal means absolutely nothing on its own. So in the context of being trans, yeah, being trans feels very, very normal to me. This is my experience, and the vast majority of things that I've gone through in life has been not tainted, but affected by my trans identity, just like it has been affected by the fact that I was born in Lebanon in 1981, right before the Israeli offensive, and during the Civil War. Or the fact that I grew up in Cyprus and that my background is Armenian, and that I went to an Armenian school, elementary and secondary, or the system of education that I was in affects what I perceive to be normal or not normal. The parents that I was born to, all of those things. So that's it. So that's week 37 out the window. Week 38, the topic is hate crimes, and there's several questions as you'll see on the sidebar. So I'm just going to jump around a little bit and not necessarily try to get to all of them at once. So basically, I have this not fully formed opinion on hate crimes legislation. On the one hand, I understand its validity and I understand its intent in terms of helping folks understand that attacking someone based on identity affects more than that person. It affects pretty much the entire community that that identity is a part of. So, attacking someone for being Asian affects more than that person being attacked. It affects the Asian community. So it is the impact of it is a lot larger than it was if it was a personal sort of attack that had to do with the two people involved and that was it. Sure, it might also impact that person's family or the neighborhood if folks see it, the witnesses, and so forth. But it's definitely a very, very different impact when it's based on an identity. At the same time, the justice system is a misnamed system in any country really, but it includes the U.S. There is nothing just about the justice system in the U.S. When you see the numbers and the statistics in terms of who is in prison, who isn't in prison, and what crimes are constituted as punishable with imprisonment and what isn't, who can get away with just paying off bails and go to top-notch prisons that are basically like retirement homes for rich guys that did something bad. So why we would think that hate crimes legislation would be any different is not. I don't really understand. So hate crimes legislation, while yes, again, understand the intent and the validity of it, at the same time, because it's a part of the greater injustice system, it's still going to adversely impact poor people more. It's going to adversely impact people of color more, and queer people more. These are the folks that are going to be the most affected by hate crimes legislation in the negative, in terms of who will, again, in turn, be incarcerated more. So that's, I guess, my wrap up on this. Like, just going through some of the other questions in terms of reporting of transphobic hate crimes. I think there's a couple of reasons why transphobic hate crimes, for the most part, don't get reported very often. One, I think, well, I guess a side to that question is, I think even the ones that do get reported oftentimes get misrepresented in statistics and in the media, oftentimes being painted as attacks on someone for being gay or being an effeminate male, or if the attack was on a trans woman. And the pronoun usage and all of that stuff in the media, you can kind of see how folks would misinterpret and not see that that was an attack on a trans person. But also statistically, and especially on the national stage, there is no trans hate crime category that things can get reported into, so that we get a really more accurate, I wouldn't say accurate picture, a more accurate picture of what it looks like. In terms of the not reporting part, though, I think twofold. One, it involves a lot of coming out. It involves, if the person is not feeling safe already because of being attacked, why also expose themselves more to the system? And also, the vast majority of trans hate crimes are against poor people of color, and so they're already not, not represented by the system. They're so outside of it, they don't trust it. Why would they? The system's not built for them. And also, so much of hate crimes on trans people is perpetuated by the police. So who are you supposed to report to when it's the cop down the street that attacked and raped you? You look at the Trans Day of Remembrance website and look at some of the stories on there. You'll be amazed at how many of them are perpetuated by the cops, or when the cops show up, if it does get reported, how much it gets shrugged off, and the victim gets laughed at and mistreated, or the victim gets taken into custody themselves, and the cops don't handle this shit well, so folks don't report it. Easier, quote unquote. Yeah, that's I guess my wrap up on that. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope 2010 is treating folks well so far, for folks on the Christian calendar. And I'll see y'all next week.